welcome Jackson County Deputy Administrator Debra Kubitskey.
Good morning.
How are you?
Doing great. How about you guys?
Great. It's been a long time since you've been here.
Yes.
You've been busy.
Yes.
Very busy.
We've been very busy. A lot of great things happening.
Well, let's talk about some of the things that really are, exciting and great news for the citizens of Jackson County. Yeah. One is the early voting. We, as a state, changed the law to allow early voting, but that doesn't just happen.
Right. A lot of planning going on. Our wonderful county clerk has been doing an extraordinary job of getting that in place. It's for state and federal elections, statewide and federal elections. And she's got a plan, and she can speak to the very specific details and what the plan entails, but it's important that everybody realize that a lot went into this and what the requirements are. She's made a plan with most of the communities in the county. They elected whether or not to participate in the county-wide plan. So there are 4 communities that are not participating. So it's important for everybody to know where to go to vote if you're going to opt in for that early voting. So
and that agreement's available for people to look at and look over. It's a longer document, but it's important information.
Absolutely, and that's why we're trying to get the word out so everybody knows where to go and what the hours are to do the early voting, since this will be the first time that we're going to be doing it. So.
Yeah, so each county, each township or municipality has to provide a staff and a location. So there were some that weren't able to do it.
Well, so what we did is the county clerk made a plan to participate together. So there will be one location in Summit Township and one location in Blackman Township. And then the hours are available on board docs, and I'm sure the county clerk has copies and information available.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there'll be 2 locations for the early voting, and it is available on weekends also, which is new. That's a change. And so all the hours are listed there as far as the early voting and when it will be available. So
some of the county's emergency services are getting upgraded. And Bart, do you know how many warning sirens are in Jackson County?
I know right where one is because there's one in Hague. It's a huge.
How many? Do you know how many there are?
48.
Yes, there are.
Really?
I know you knew that.
There's 48.
Oh my
I knew
gosh,
you knew
how
that.
about
Says right there. 48. But I didn't realize there were that many. I just thought there was one at Cascades.
There's a lot. And we have to maintain those annually. We have them checked. A company comes in and checks them all, make sure they're working. We do test them more than once a year, but that's when the maintenance is. But our tests, part of the reason we're upgrading them, we're using some of our ARPA money, about $300,000 in ARPA money, to upgrade them is because several of them don't communicate back to us. So if they're not working, we don't know. So we have to rely on the public. And we've been working with one of the ham operator radio groups, and they've been working with us to help let us know which ones aren't working. So we want to upgrade them so that it's a 2-way communication. There'll be information sent to us if they're not working. So it's easier for us to proactively keep them working.
What are those sirens used for? I mean, obviously, I think tornado.
Right.
But just any type of emergency that you need to alert?
So Jason Hammond and Jason Brining are the experts on that, but we work with the National Weather Service, and they forewarn us about weather events that might be coming to us. And so for mass evacuations or for emergency preparation, that's when we would typically set them off.
Yeah, remember the guy in Hawaii with the flash forest fire? He didn't activate the sirens because he said, well, they'll think it's a tsunami.
A test
Right.
is what happened, but that's we can talk about that all day.
Right.
Emergency, if it's an emergency, the sirens.
There's a reason for it.
Right,
Yeah.
absolutely. And it's important for the public to know when to prepare or when to hide or go to your basement and, so.
Do you know where all 48 are located?
No, I don't. Jason, both
I'm
of
sure they
Jason's
do.
probably do.
Well, they're big and they're loud.
I do
Yes.
know that.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, we've got money from the opioid settlement
Yeah.
coming to the state of Michigan, and does Jackson County get any chunk of that?
We are getting a pretty good chunk, and it changes. It's been changing periodically as You have to opt into the settlement, so as people didn't opt in, they keep changing our numbers. But currently, we're getting about 3.7 million here in Jackson
Oh,
County.
wow.
That does not include any of the townships that were eligible or the city. I don't know how much they're getting, but some of the municipalities were eligible for funds as well. So this is just what the county is getting. And we've already allocated some of it. About 2.1 million is going to the health department to do prevention and education, which they've already started working on. They've got an employee there that that's working with our community partners to get a program going there. So.
Yeah, and this money, you actually know it's going to be coming in over a period of years,
Yes,
decades.
There's multiple parties to the settlement, so each party has a different payout, but the maximum payout is 18 years. Some of them are paying for 5 years, some are paying for 12, so it's a different amount that we would be getting. We haven't received a majority, we've only received so far out of that, those millions of dollars, we've only received about 350,000 so far. So as we get the payouts, then we can utilize the funds.
I'd like to be the lawyer on that case. Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's billions and
Yeah,
billions.
absolutely.
So
absolutely.
CVS, Rite Aid, Walgreens, they all agreed to settle because of their contribution to the opioid epidemic.
Absolutely.
So some of the money, does that come directly from those pharmacies, or is it all in one kind of?
So we get our payment from the state.
From the state.
So once the state receives funds, and they're getting it from the federal government, so it's kind of a pass-through. And so they each take their portions off the top because they're each keeping some.
Sure.
So they're taking their portions off the top and then distributing accordingly.
And now for some exciting news. You have a plan for the old armory.
Yes, it's still coming to fruition. We applied, the Parks Department, all of our county staff does a phenomenal job of searching out grants. So a lot of things that we do are grant related. We offer a lot of programs that we otherwise would not be able to offer by stretching dollars and applying for grants. But the parks applied for a grant, and we were just notified that they received it, $580,000 to renovate the armory property. Unfortunately, the one building, the roof did collapse. So the commissioners, it looks like they're going to approve demolition of it. That's on the agenda for Tuesday night, this upcoming Tuesday. But the other building, which is the garage, is going to be transformed into a farmer's market.
Oh, cool.
And so, so it's really exciting. It's a great project. The Parks Department and everyone is really excited about what that can bring to Jackson County.
It'd be a great place for a farmer's market.
Yeah, it was. People may remember it was being used as the Armory Bike Union.
Oh, yeah.
And there were volunteers that repaired bikes and handed out bikes in that open garage space. It's like 10 bays or something.
Right. So as it comes to fruition, Kyle, I'm sure, would love to come spread the word on what it's going to look like and how we're doing. But it's going to take a bit. Obviously, we have to get some estimates and, put some improvements into the building in the area.
And you're already using all that open land for parking for the fairgrounds.
Absolutely.
So will that get some improvements too?
I don't know what the 580,000 covers specifically, what they applied for in the grant, so they had to put specifically what it will cover. I'm not sure that I'm sure they'll do some improvements to that area, but I don't think it's going to be cement or parking specifically.
A lot of great things happening.
Yes.
Thanks
Absolutely.
for the update.
Yes, thank
Thanks,
you.
Deborah.
Deputy Administrator for Jackson County, Debra Kubitskey. The morning show continues after this.